Computer. Recording in progress. So, guys, today we're going to start. Welcome. Ta-da-da! We're going to start our first collection of videos talking about my prep, the final stages of prep. I'm 6 weeks away from WBFF Worlds, and I'm going to start sharing everything that I'm doing for this week. First of all, I'm going to start a little backdrop of what happened. Don't mind my dog and my cats are going to start going crazy about what happened with my health 3 weeks ago. So, I've been telling everybody like this week, this prep is super easy. I'm way ahead of schedule. We had the WBFF swim week here. Give me a second for showing my gains. Mm. And so I was kind of like ahead of my game. I did amazing there, super lean. I mean, not stage lean, but lean enough. So I started my prep way ahead of the schedule. I had about 6 pounds to lose and 9 weeks away. So that was super easy, super, super easy. And pretty little me, I wanted to do everything as perfect as possible. And I want to like to really, it's not just because when you compete, let me tell you something, if you've never competed, bodybuilding show or anything is similar. It's not just about winning. It's about being absolute best, especially at bodybuilding, because yeah, winning is good, but if you win and you think you don't look great on stage, then it's really not a win. But if you lose and you think you look great on stage, it's sort of a win. The ideal is you win and you look amazing. And so that's what I was going for. I know I have great chances of winning. I've been competing for a long time and I know my shit. And I'm working hard for it. But also at the same time, it's I want to be my absolute best because this might be my last show. Who knows? So I want to be my absolute best on stage. So I draw this whole program for myself. I'm coaching myself. I have a team of amazing girls that I'm bringing to compete with me. Some for the first time, some have been competed before. But so I did this whole program for myself with peptides, with my supplements, with my nutrition, my workouts, and I ordered some peptides online. Mind you, all the stores that sell peptides online, they say this is not for human use, this is for research purposes only. We all know this means nothing because the only reason why people buy peptides on websites is for use, it's not for research. If you go to a lab for research. But it's the disclaimer because it's not FDA approved and blah blah blah. And we all know that. I've used peptides for the past like 5, 6 years on and off. And I've never had an issue. Of course, I don't buy from just like any stupid website. I bought from a very reputable one, which was again, I'm not gonna name the website that I bought. Um, and the peptide that I use is ipamorelin, which is I used it before. I used it in the past. I actually just talking to a brand new client who just signed up today. She used it too, and no problem. I have clients who currently use it. It's a super safe peptide. The thing is, I'm still not sure. I actually am gonna send the vial to the lab because I want to analyze and see what actually happened. Gato, psst, psst. Destiny, Destiny. To analyze and see what happened because I injected the ipamorelin. It was my first time injecting that specific one, and I got a severe, severe reaction. And I mean, like in 5 minutes, my tongue started itching, my hands started like tingling, my feet. I tried typing, I couldn't type, and then that's when I knew like I was going through some hard times, and I needed to get myself to the hospital. I drove to emergency care close by my house. I know it was wrong. I know it was wrong. Shouldn't have driven. Which is like literally 5 minutes away. Probably got there in 5, 7 minutes. I got there and they were closed. Uh, no, lucky me. When I got back to my car and I'm gonna have to call 911. I called 911 and I passed out. So I was outside of my car, holding like on the back of my car like this. Called 911, started talking to the lady. I passed out first time. And when I passed out like that, I probably hit my head on my knee and my elbow on the floor because I got bruised and it got hurt for a while. Thank God, no major things. No, I'm still the same crazy as I was before. Passed out. I was probably out for maybe 2, 3 minutes according to the calls because 911 called me back. I remember waking up on the floor, kind of trying to understand what was happening, like really, really out of myself. I've never passed out before in my life. So it took me a while, try to get up. And then I got up, stood in the same position in the car, started call 911 again, started talking to the lady. And then she said like, "Oh, you called the second time, what's happening?" And I passed out a second time. Passed out and like also I didn't know how long I was out, probably the same amount of time, 2 or 3 minutes. 911 called me back. This time they left a message like, "See, we've been trying to talk to this person. She called. We just heard for help, but couldn't hear, understand what was happening. We don't know where she is. Please call us back if it's a real emergency." And then I wake up, thank God, on the floor. And on the floor, I mean, I was on the street. It was like around 7 a.m. People passing on the street, nobody helped. Just people were looking at me, and I could see like from the floor, like looking up like that. Very, very bad memories right there. But then I remember like this time, like I'm not standing up again because I know if I stand up, I'm probably gonna pass out again. So I stayed on the floor. I remember I had my bag. I put my bag and put it like behind my head, and I called 911 again. I left the phone right here and I started talking. I remember like looking at my wrists and my hands like it's full of droplets of sweat, like it was covered in little droplets of sweat. And thank God I could breathe normal. I couldn't speak much. I think like my tongue was like swollen or something. I couldn't speak. I couldn't make much sense. I remember like I wasn't having delusional. I was I understood. I knew who I was. I knew where I was. I knew exactly what was happening, what was happening to me. But I knew like I drove myself. I was conscious, and but I was in a lot of pain, like all over my body. But then the only thing I remember is I remember talking to the lady like, "Please send them up. Like, don't let me die in here." And a car from the Miami Beach department, whatever, like traffic department, stopped by because I had my car pull over like on a parallel with the car. It was literally on the street. And then I started hearing like the sirens of the ambulance coming, which was like I was so happy to listen to them, and I was so thankful for Miami Beach fire ambulance department, fire department, whatever it is, because they were fast. I do not know how much, like maybe 6, 8 minutes, but they came and they started like taking care of me. They started asking questions and trying to check my vitals and all of that. Uh, and then I remember they put on Benadryl shot on my shoulder, which was hurting for 3 weeks. So I imagine it was must have been like a big, big dose. And and then still questions, but like nothing happened. Like I was still very, very bad. And I remember asking them, like, please don't let me die. Um, Now they put me on a bed. They asked me if I could stand up. Or like there's I impossible to stand up. I can't put my like I don't have any strength to stand up. So they helped me to get on bed and then in bed inside the car, asking questions. I remember like my blood pressure was super low. I remember they were very concerned about my blood pressure. My blood sugar was super high, was 144. Um, I don't remember them saying any other data rather than that. Just keep asking me questions, and I keep trying to say like Ipamora, and I couldn't say that word. I couldn't say much things. I just gave him my driver's license, asking questions. Thank God they drove me to the hospital, and I was there for like 3 hours being in observation. Oh, they checked my heart. Thank God my heart was okay. They gave me lots of fluids. Apparently, I was a little bit dehydrated as well. They couldn't say what it was. They say it looked like poisoning, looked like an anaphylactic reaction, but it's hard having a diagnosis with a substance that's not FDA approved, right? They really don't know. So that was this whole story with the peptide thing, the severe allergic reaction. Came back home, stayed like the full day. That Tuesday I did nothing. Wednesday I did nothing. On Thursday, started getting back on like with my clients. Friday as well. Saturday, I felt like I was 100%. Friday by Saturday, I felt like I was really good, and I went back to my normal activities. Like I'm fine. The following Monday, I went to Canada, to Montreal, visit my friends, stayed there for a few days, came back, and it felt great. I was tired, but I figured it was just, I'm in prep, and of course I'm tired. I'm doing all these things. I'm running to businesses, and I'm like doing prep, and I'm taking care of girls, and it's like it's a whole thing. But then I started noticing, I have events coming along and different things happening, like juggling a lot of balls. And then it didn't occur to me up until 2 days ago or 3 days ago, up until Sunday, honestly, because Saturday I had an event. Friday I woke up a little sick. Saturday I had an event. It was like a major thing for me. Um, and I've been sick ever since. And usually I can bounce back from sickness really fast because I'm strong. Like I have a very strong metabolism, thank God. Uh, I was breastfed until 3, so my immune system is on fire. Like I never ever ever get sick. Now here in Miami, like dealing with clients and gyms and different setups, of course you get exposed to a few things more. So I do get sick a little more often, but it's like on and off. Like I can count on my fingers how many times I had to cancel sessions because I wasn't feeling well. I was feeling sick, and it's in one hand in 3 years in Miami. So I don't get sick, and I notice like this. It's something is off. Like my workouts haven't been the best. Even when I feel like I have so much energy, I get to the gym and I can't lift. I'm taking longer to recover. I don't feel my pump in my muscles. And I started like digging a little deeper. So I went to like Dr. Chat, GPT, and started like, hey, this happened. Could it be this? And he said, like, yeah, is it like it seems like you had like a severe anaphylactic shock reaction, which it can take several weeks to recover, not one or two. It seems like you're just starting to recover from that. So I had to confront the truth that it had a bigger toll on my immune system than I'd like to recognize, because I have a superwoman syndrome, like most of us. And we don't like to stop. Like we don't like to recognize that like this really knocked me down. But it did. And and the worst thing the thing that I fear the most in this earth is to lose my health. I take such good care of my health. This for me is so precious. It's not about how I look necessarily. It's about how I feel and like being able to perform and doing the things that I love. I love being healthy. It's an absolute like it. I carry it as a pride flag. I love being healthy for so many reasons. So not being 100% on top of my game, it's a struggle for me. It requires a lot for me to like, okay, I need to step down a little bit of all the things I'm doing, not changing my goals. I'm still competing, of course. If something else happened and my body really can't push, I'm not gonna sacrifice my health for it. Absolutely not. But at this stage, I think I can still compete. I think I can still push through. I just have to take care of other things that I wasn't taking care of before. I need to start paying more attention on my health, on my basis rather than just on my physique. That's why since Sunday, I started like, okay, I need to reassess my whole protocol for myself. I need to start taking better supplements. I need to start taking better care of my immune system. I need to like tweak my workouts a lot because my body's just not as strong as I thought it was. Having said that, I added a few things to my whole protocol that I'd like to share with you guys. Um, I should have written that. Should I just share my ChatGPT screen? Would that be crazy? Should that be crazy? Let me do that. Wait. I need to be really careful what I share here. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I love life. I love life. Okay, let me copy and paste some things here because I love you guys, but I don't want to share my whole life like that with you. There needs to be some boundaries. But I will share this. There you go. This is enough to share. Let me see if I can share my screen. Start share. Perfect. There you go. This way you guys can see. Bum, bum, bum. You don't need to see this. You don't need to see my schedule. I'm gonna have to block all of this. Lord, I'm gonna have to edit some videos before uploading to YouTube. I don't know what pictures showed up in there. That's okay. That's okay. Okay, so let's see what happened here with my health real quick. Of course, I'm not going to go things by things with you guys, but just so you guys know what we're talking about, because I think it's important to share because I know a lot of people they suffer with a weak immune system. And I just want you to know that there's a way. I think a lot of people they see things as obstacles for them being fit and being healthy. You should never see things as obstacles. You should see things as things that are going to push you to be better at what you do. All the things that made me the great trainer that I am with all no with all like false, how can I say, false humility aside, I am a freaking great trainer. It's because of stuff that happened to my life. It's not because I sit down and read books, even though I did that too. But I'm much better today because I went through a lot of stuff in my life and they made me great. So I suffered with the mold intoxication. It made me an expert in inflammation and how to recover from that. I suffer a lot from binge eating disorder. I can talk to any girl that has suffered with that and give her all the cues like this is how you get out of it. I've suffered a lot with body dysmorphia, still do. I can talk to any woman. It's like, girl, this is how we need to talk to get out of it. I know how to build muscle. I know how to lose body fat. Why? Because I've been through all of those. It's not because I read book like how to get rid of mold intoxication without ever going through. So I take this is happening with me as a huge opportunity to grow because actually something I struggled a lot on when I started my career as a fitness, full-time fitness should I say persona, because fitness was always easy for me at first. It was never hard. When I started when I was in my early 20s, it was easy, 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 easy. Like I love being in the gym. I could eat anything. I had no problem building muscle and losing body fat. When things started getting hard, that's when it started getting better as a professional. So whatever it is that you're facing in life, that it's a struggle, take it as a blessing. Take it as a lesson to elevate you. And that's what I'm doing. So you can see here, my body suffered a lot of immune system dysregulation, which is something a lot of everybody had after COVID, especially nervous system shock because of the passing out, not fun. Histamine overload and mast cell activation is because of all the allergic signaling that happened on my body. Medication aftermath of the Benadryl. Also, something to be said. I'm a person, I never take pills. I hate taking medication, hate taking drugs. So just that big dose that I had, like I would have pimples all over my head, which I've never had in here a lot. I'm sure it's because of that medication. Like it's still like my body is finally putting stuff out, because it was a huge dose. Post-anaphylaxis, and I'm sorry to say that, anaphylaxis recovery is zero. So disease, you don't need to see all of that. So I came up with a supplement stash that I added on my profile on top of the ones that I was taking. So in the morning, I'm taking vitamin C. And you guys, I'm sharing this so you can guys take a screenshot and just so you have your FYI. It's not medical advice. This is not professional fitness advice. I'm sharing what I do for my personal situation. Use it as an educational tool. Do not copy and paste. Use this and do your research. Go to ChatGPT, copy this and say like, hey, how can I apply this to my life, to my things? Use AI to your advantage, not just copy and paste everything. There's no excuse for anybody to just copy and paste what anybody else does in this life and time. Okay, pass it all through your personal system, which is chat. So vitamin C, zinc, I'm taking ashwagandha, glutamine electrolytes. It's all like because I understand that, excuse me, that what happened to me was a huge cortisol stimulator. That's why, probably one of the reasons why my blood sugar was so high when the ambulance came is because of the high cortisol in my bloodstream. I now have to train my cortisol to be lower, much more. I never had problems with like anxiety or any of that, but now I notice that being a high cortisol, that can trigger some anxiety issues. I do not want to go there. Also, having a high cortisol, a chronic high cortisol, can lead to insulin resistance and leptin resistance. That's actually what happened when I was getting my divorce. Not fun. Do not recommend it. So let's not go there. So bring cortisol down. I'm also doing a lot of gut support things, because I noticed that's also one of the things that uh, led me to investigating that more because I was having a lot of like gut dysbiosis, like a lot of problems with my digestion, and I could notice like it wasn't related to anything I was eating precisely. It was just like a constant thing. It's like, why is my intestines not holding anything inside? And then I started thinking, well, it's like I took antibiotics. It's not antibiotics, but it's a huge drug. So it probably messed up with my gut microbiome a little bit. So I'm adding probiotics again, and also doing smaller meals per time. Uh, I'm also doing very different workouts. I'm going to share in a second how my workouts have been ever since I realized that. But I'm taking even more glutamine for recovery. I'm taking creatine, taking more electrolytes for hydration, and I'm relying a little bit more on protein shakes rather than foods. Why is that? Because I need some of the foods that I was eating, because I eat a lot of cottage cheese and a lot of yogurt, they can be a little triggering on the histamine side and on the inflammation side, even though I don't have any intolerance or any issues with lactose. But because I was eating so much and because my body went through that huge reaction, I was noticing every time after I was eating those things, almost like I had like reflux, like I was like burping a lot, and that's not common. So I'm cutting down on cottage cheese and yogurt a little bit, and I'm relying more on whey protein powder because it's just like a blender type of protein that doesn't cause any reactions, at least not in me, okay? And at night, I'm also like trying to control my nervous system, trying to like get back into recovery mode. And I'm adding more digestive enzymes to help also in my gut microbiome and more proper nutrition absorption, if I must say, and also magnesium to help me get into a deeper sleep and recover. That is on the supplement side. So now I can stop sharing and get back to the screen so we can see here. And let me see just 1 second. Perfect. So based on that, that's the thing that I had to adapt according to my health, right? Now, the one thing I want to talk to you girls is, and guys, I know there's guys watching this too. Sorry, guys. I'm sorry, guys. I'm going to share with you a little bit of my stats for my human health, which, I've been using this amazing scale. They don't call it scale, they call it the body pod, which is from, my cat going crazy. Look at them, they're so cute. They always go crazy after they go cray. They were just playing here. My dog was humping my cat. My cat was pawing my dog. It's a zoo. So this bod pod, it really helps me track not just the weight, but my body fat, skeletal muscle mass, lean body mass, like I said, body fat percentage, my visceral mass, my hydration. It's incredible. So I'm gonna share. I didn't think this through. This is not gonna work if I just share this. Ah, my lights went off. That's okay. We will survive. We will survive. Does it have another word? Hopefully it's charged. Hopefully. The bad thing about living by yourself? You can't really blame anybody about your own mistakes. When I used to live with people that shall remain nameless, something bad happens, you can always blame, like, oh, you did this, you did that, even though you're not 100% sure. Now that I live by myself, I can't blame nobody for my life. So it's not charged. I only have myself to blame. That's okay. Oh, I have a light here. I have a light. Whee! Guys, see? But you also can't take credit for everything. So let me share my stats. And I'm going to share a little bit. I want to write. Here's what we're going to do this. I'm going to write right here on the chat. Or actually, there's some other tools. Oh, Melissa. Sylvia, I'm so sorry, girls. I've been missing the questions. I'm so sorry. Sylvia asked, is this a company you have always used in the past for this peptide? No, it was my first time using this company. If you DM me after this, I have no problem sharing in private which company it was. Even though honestly, I don't think it's a problem with the company. I think it's a problem with the system that those peptides are delivered because they're not FDA approved. So I think the company is super reputable because I know several athletes that are sponsored by them. So I don't think it's a bad company, but the system which the peptides are extracted and produced, it's a flawed system because it's not FDA regulated. Okay, so if anybody would like to know the name of the company, DM me. I have no problem sharing. I just don't want to do it publicly because they're not for human use anyway. I know that when I bought it. So thank you, my love. Thank you, Melissa. Okay, so here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna share this screen again because I want to share something really important with you girls, which are my stats. Share the screen, share the screen. My stats, my weight stats. Okay. Can I leave this here? Let me do this here. Bum, bum, bum. Participants can now see my screen. Let me take this off. Guys, bear with me while we go through this. It's only my first time sharing. Dad, this is perfect. Do you guys love notes as much as I do? I write everything on my notes. I link everything, everything. So I'm gonna go over, what happened with my weight on these days because for me it was really, really crazy. Like my weight changed so much. Ba-ba-bum. Okay, so June 5th, my weight was 143.9 pounds. And my BF, body fat percentage, was 14.6. My lean mass, I'm going somewhere with this. Bear with me, 116.2 pounds. Da-da-da. Skeletal muscle mass. Let me just keep it there. Lean mass and body fat. That's all we need to know by now. Okay, that was like 5 days before I had this mishap. That was my lowest weight. That was a little bit a few days after the swim week thing, which I leaned down. I did a very mild dehydration, so I was lean, 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 but I lost some muscle, right? So after that, after a few days, you know, June 15, which was 5 days after the happened. Let me just write here. Emergency episode, let's just put it that way, was June 10th. So just so we can have a timeline, because this is important so you guys can understand what happened. My weight bumped up to 146.3. And mind you, when I was sick, I was eating whatever. I wasn't really worried about anything. I was taking, paying attention more on my health rather than anything. Oh no, this is today. I'm sorry. Oh, wait, 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 wait. No, this is wrong. Sorry. Wait. Gotcha. Okay. Let me just do different. So I wasn't really worried about, am I eating the right amount of protein? Is this going to be good for my body composition? Like, I couldn't care less. I couldn't care less what was happening because my first goal was to be healthy again. When you're sick, you really don't care about much stuff. Um, So now I just want to show you guys like how much this messed with my body weight. But thank God it's trending back to where it should be. Today is July 1st, right? July 1st. Sitting at 145.7. So trending down. Now let me start sharing with you guys the body fat, right? You want to see the body fat? So body fat today was 14.6. And so also June 30, which was yesterday, was 14.2. June 21st, which was my lowest weight after the episode, was 14.8. So notice that when I hit my lowest weight right here, I usually have my highest body fat percentage. Why is that? Because it's showing me that the weight that I'm losing is not fat. The weight that I'm losing here is muscle, which is no bueno. June 46, I had my body fat was 145. Oh, I'm sorry, 14.5. June 15, 15.6, 15.5. And And June 5th, which was before I missed this, was 15.8. Sorry, this was wrong. This is 15.8. We're not going to talk about lean mass right now because it'll be too much data. So I want you guys know that prior to episode, I was my leanest, but my fattiest. Let me say, I was my lightest, but my fattiest because I had more muscle, more fat, and didn't have a lot of muscle. Episode happened, I gained like 2.5 pounds, but my body fat dropped. That means I lost a little bit of fat, but lost a little bit of muscle, but I also lost a little bit of fat. On the 16th, that was when I hit my lowest, my biggest weight, which was insane for me to go from. That's why I know like that medication had a lot of effects because I gained 3.3 pounds in a day. That is not common, not even if I do a full binge episode, which I haven't done in a while. So I gained 3.3 pounds, but I lost 1 percentage in body fat. That means that all this time right here, I was not only dehydrated, but I had severe lost a lot of muscle mass, even from the swim week thing, because you do dehydration, you do lose a little bit of muscle mass. So the rest that I had after the episode on June 10th and like working out a little bit less, eating a little bit more, it actually paid me really well because this was my best so far at 149.9, almost 150 pounds again, but my lowest body fat percentage so far. After that, almost a week after, I lost almost 5 pounds again, which you know how crazy the weight can fluctuate. I want you also to understand that me being an athlete, of course, I had this episode with my health, but being an athlete and tracking everything that I'm eating, even though I wasn't tracking at the time, it's normal that the body fluctuates. It is normal. We're women. We have so much stuff going on inside our bodies. We have no idea. So, and my body fat increased just a little bit. So this was actually a very positive turnaround because I lost 5 pounds, but my body fat increased just 0.3%. So that was actually really good. Almost a week after, got back to 148, and this was like when I was doing a lot of stuff, and I started getting sick again. So I was eating a little bit more. So I understand totally what this happened. But once again, and I wasn't working out as much because I tried working out, but I was so tired and my body just wasn't responding. And then again, I gained 4 pounds, but dropped zero point 0.6 in my body fat percentage. So this was my leanest that I've been, was just yesterday, right? One of my heaviest, but one of my leanest. Isn't it crazy? And today, I got recover a little bit of my muscle, not recover a little bit of muscle. I lost a little bit of weight, but I also lost a little bit of fat. I'm sorry, not fat, as muscle. So it is crazy to understand, and I hope you guys see that now, how much your body can fluctuate just like with little things. Once again, thank you, Sylvia. Of course, my body went through a major setback, and the goal right now is to keep more steady changes and steady trends on both dropping body fat, dropping weight, but keeping the most amount of muscle possible. So I'm gonna keep those here, and every week that I'm here with you girls, I'm gonna keep sharing all my weights, all my stats, and I'll just try to type them ahead of time so I don't bore you with the typing. First time, first time, first time. Okay, got you. For my workouts, I must say I started tracking my workouts a little by little. Uh, Actually, what I'm gonna do is when I do, because I'm gonna post this on YouTube after, so I'm gonna share the description on YouTube. I'm gonna share my whole workout, okay, on the notes because I don't want to bother you girls with this. I'm gonna open for questions soon. But all I can say is I got back to cardio just yesterday. I can't quite do the full 45, 50 minutes that I was doing before because even because of my this cold that I had this past few days, like my throat is extremely sensitive. I'm actually so thankful that I'm able to do this call today because I thought I couldn't be able to talk that much because it hurts. I don't have the strongest voice, and my throat is like I hate shouting, I hate speaking loud. So even though I think I love to talk, but I don't love to talk loud. So my throat really is sensitive, but I'm able to speak today, so thank God. But I wasn't being able to do the full cardio, so I did yesterday. I did 2 bounds of 30 minutes, Today I did one bound of 35 minutes, and we're going to be able to do the second one. But every time this week, I'm going to keep trying to do 30 to 35 minutes and cap at that. And the workouts have been shorter too. Instead of aiming, because I used to do that before, and that's when I was getting frustrated not being able to have massive workouts because I would have all these grandiose workout plans. Like I'm going to work out for an hour and a half, only legs, but I had no energy. So now I'm capping at 30, 40 minutes maximum of lower body only. And I'm doing like very like I want to say mild because I don't think that's possible. But I'm doing like gentle, you know? I'm doing like leg extensions, I'm doing squats, I'm doing like I'm not fluffing a lot. I'm doing like small gentle drop sets. And as far as my diet, as far as my diet, I'm just trying to cut the cheese, I mean, cottage cheese, trying to cut the yogurt, just eating protein, vegetables. I am coming up with like a little protein ball that I want to eat first thing in the morning instead of my cottage cheese. And that's it. And my supplements and hydrating a lot and trying to get the best sleep. And hopefully my health is going to keep getting better and better. And I wrap it up and I'm going to be open for questions. Aye, that was a lot. Let me bring Instagram back because now they can come back. Hi, Instagram. So tell me, girls, anybody has questions, drop them up. You can open your mic and talk, or you can drop them up at the chat. And let me see what you guys want to ask about. It can be about prep or it can be about anything else. You know, I'm open. Let me see if I have any questions here on YouTube, on Instagram. Wow. A lot of comments here on Instagram. Sorry guys, I wasn't seeing. If you wanna hear the proper talk, you need to go on YouTube, on your YouTube, on Zoom. I'm not gonna be wow. Vanessa, my love. Melissa, drop your question. You unmuted yourself. I thought you were gonna ask.
Can I say it or you want me to put it on here?
You can say it, of course.
Okay. So I'm actually starting to do fasted cardio in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
Because I did see a video of you, and back in the day when I used to compete, I used to do that all the time. Fasted cardio, but I haven't like really kept up with like everything behind that, and I know you posted about that the other day. So I'm doing like 45 minutes either walking or running or on the bike. And when I mean walking, like uphill walking, right?
Mm-hmm.
So right after that, I try to eat like I either take some honey after my cardio, um, or like a fruit, like an apple or a
Mm-hmm.
peach or an orange or whatever. So that's your favorite kind of cardio is fasted cardio. Is that what you mean?
It's not necessarily my favorite. So what the thing about fasted cardio is it will burn more calories while you're doing it, but it will burn less calories during the day. And on the other side, if you
Oh
do
yeah.
a fat state cardio, you will burn less calories during the cardio, but burn more at the end of the day. So they match up, they even out as much as far as calories burned. The thing is with fasted cardio, for us that wake up early, it's really good. So because you can like capitalize on the day, early day you wake up, you go, and especially when you like your business owner, like you're running all these things, you might not have time to do it later. So I like fasted cardio for that. And I think it sets the tone. I think there's so much more to be said rather than just calories burn. It sets the tone for the rest of your day. I can honestly say, just even for all the experience with my clients, but for myself too, when I wake up and I do cardio and I move, my whole day is different. I feel
So
better. I do better choices. So you could say facet cardio. It is my favorite. If I could, if my like not if I could, all the days that I can, if my schedule allows, I'll do cardio first thing in the morning. Like before I see my clients, it's my time.
when you do fasted cardio, is it okay to go immediately to do weights or wait? Because I can wait a couple hours and then go do my weights. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So from fasted cardio, can I go immediately to do weights, or you suggest having a protein shake, resting for like a couple hours, and then go do your weights?
it's always better if you do them separately, physiologically
Yeah.
speaking. especially because especially coming after fasted cardio, you kind of already depleted all your sources of energy. If you do like even for 30 minutes, you've already depleted all your energy. So when you go into weights right after fasted cardio, even if you do weights first thing in the morning on a fasted state, you're gonna have to tap in. It's almost like you're doing it in a ketosis state because your body it has only so much of like glycogen, muscle glycogen, which is sugar, basically to burn to fuel that workout. So when you push weights, first your sessions are going to be a little bit hard. And mind you, this is like for general population. Of course, there's always people who are outliers, right? So you might have all this literature pointing to one direction, but you might be a complete outlier. So grab what I say and put it on your perspective because like I said, the sessions might be a little bit harder because you don't have enough fuel in your body to sustain that all that muscle contraction. So you might find that compared to when you lift weights that you're fed, you might feel like, let's say on a squat, instead of being able to do 12, 15 reps heavy, you might be able to do 8 reps with the same weight because your muscles don't have the same energy. Doesn't mean it's less effective because you're doing less, but you're also working with less. Make sense? So you might push the same capacity. Those might be the same amount of effort for your body. It's just overall volume of workout is going to be a little less. Also, there's another thing to be said that when you can separate your workouts, let's say someone like you, like me, like Sonia, we love moving. Like we could work out all day nonstop, but every time you work out during the day, you have what we call is like a peak of oxygen demanding from your body. We call it epoch. Like, and after you have that peak, like you accelerate your body's gonna still keep burning those calories a little bit after the workout. So if you can have a peak, let's say at 6 a.m., and then you have another peak at 10 a.m., and then you have another peak, let's say at 3 p.m., it's almost like you can capitalize on those peaks more than if you have just a bigger peak at 6 p.m. for 2 hours. Make sense?
Yeah, it does.
So
Okay, yeah, got
separate
it.
it, it's always better physiologically, but also again, like if your day only allows you to do it back to back, then do it back to back. But I would advise have something between like to at least to make you push harder on your weight session. Also, if you're just doing cardio and not doing weights after, I wouldn't advise you eat honey or fruits right after. I would advise you eating protein. And then you can have some type of carbs, but have your proteins first. Also, another thing for us, women over 35, we start losing muscle mass. We start losing muscle mass, right? Just
Who
naturally.
are these women? They're not on this call.
No,
There's no women over.
yeah, somebody. I heard somebody saying we're all 20. But so there's this doctor, she's from New Zealand, she's incredible, talking about nutrition for women, right? For performance. So and I've been doing this and doing all my clients that, and it's been amazing results. It's like in the first 30 minutes you wake up, she suggests, especially if you're doing cardio in the morning, to eat 10 to 15 grams of protein and carbs because this way you can signal your muscle protein synthesis in your body rather than just depleting it. Because at this stage, we can't think so much as depleting your body. We need to think like fuel the muscles and deplete the rest. So maybe you should start trying like before you go on your walks, on your cardio, and that is like just as little as like a spoon of Greek yogurt. It's little, and go do your cardio and see how you feel. It's not so much about how you feel, but like what does that do for your body? Because she was explaining, as women, our muscle protein synthesis happens differently than it happens in men. Ours is much more brain derived from the brain activation in your body rather than it's physiological. So when you eat a little bit of protein in the morning, there's a stimulation that happens on our brain that tells our body, oh, we have fuel, start making muscles, because she's putting protein inside, so we can start generating the machine again for muscle protein synthesis. It's very interesting. I've been doing this for the past maybe 3 4 months, and I was somebody that I could wake up and fast for like hours, right, and just go to cardio and sprints and lift like. But I've been really having great results there. Like I've been noticing that I'm maintaining much more my muscles rather than losing a lot, especially in prep.
Babe, can I
Gotcha.
interrupt 2 seconds?
Of
I
course.
first of all, I just want to tell you so Patricia's on the call. I was texting everybody to hop on. So Patricia's on the call. My mother-in-law also, she lives in Florida, and I was like, you need to meet Amanda. So Joanna's on the call also. And let me hop on. Sylvia has a question. Do you have any advice for going into pre-menopausal? What's the best daily cardio not to increase cortisol? I'm not
Yes.
curious, sit in. I got you. I'm gonna hop on the chats. We're gonna work
I
this
love
together.
that. See, guys, everybody needs friends like that. Everybody needs friends like that. Oh God, you're so good. Thank you, my love. Yes. So, for the things with not spiking your cortisol. So the thing is, whenever you're exercising, you're gonna spike your cortisol. You just don't want to spike it too much and not for the wrong reasons. When you're exercising, your cortisol should be up. A high cortisol spike is not necessarily bad. A chronic high cortisol is bad. So the problem is if you go to the gym and you lift and then you go and you live a super stressful, like upsetting life, that's when things are bad. But when I understand what your question about high cortisol is because a lot of women are just doing the classes and they're just like running and doing like that is the wrong type of cortisol spike. You don't want to do anything that's too extraneous for too long because that is like you're neither peaking and you're not neither low. You're like at the medium to high intensity, and that's the phase where that's the stage where you're burning the most amount of muscle to fuel your activities. You want to do the contrary. You either want to like do a proper peak as a high intensity interval training followed by like a nice good rest. And if you think about it, weights is all there is. You lift, and you rest. Squat, and you rest. You push, and you rest. That's how it should be done, exercise. Now, if you bring that to cardio, there's two ways you can do that without peaking your cortisol too much. You either do what we call a zone two, cardio, which is slow intensity for a longer duration. So it will be a walk. There you go. Coach Sonia does what she's talking about. No wonder she has veins popping on her biceps 365 days of the year. Uh, Lean machine. So yeah, a zone two intensity, which is like it's boring, but now use that to do some other thing in your life. Use that to like watch a movie, watch a documentary. I do a lot of my admin stuff while I'm doing that. I'm texting all my clients, I'm posting on Instagram, I'm replying all the messages. So I use it for that. No, I don't have any just 1 hour to sit there and do nothing, look at people. So either that or you do a proper high intensity interval training, which is a super high peak close to maximum, and then you bring it back down. You can do that. Actually, I posted a video about that. Go on my playlist on YouTube. But remind me to send you about the differences of cardio. Actually, I was in Montreal with Sonia when I did it. So do a super high intensity, super incline run, which is low impact, but it's hard because you're running uphill, and then you rest. You can do an assault bike, even on the stairmaster. I love doing on the stairmaster. I put at level 20, and I'll do stairs like two at a time. If you're doing cardio, let's say at the beach, and I love walking on the beach, it would be like a sprinting on the soft sand, like on the wet sand, because that's hard, but there's no impact, and then you just rest for a little bit. So those are the ways to do cardio with the right type of cortisol, not a chronic, but just the right amount of right and high. Whew. Any more questions, ladies?
I want to tell you something else. So
Yes.
I didn't speak to you about this because I think there was a day we didn't talk. I went to my naturopath. Patricia knows about this too. I went to my naturopath before flying out to France, and she saw because I was doing so much Greek yogurt that it was giving me a lot of mucus. So some people
Yeah.
can't, like for me, I had to like cut it off completely. And I went back to see her right when I came back. And she was like, I was still processing all of the mucus that like the cottage cheese or the Greek yogurt was giving me. And it's so frustrating because to me, it was such an easy protein just to have at night, shake it up with my protein
Yeah.
thing. And now I had to cut it out and look for like coconut yogurt or something because the dairy, even though it was lactose free, was causing all this mucus and it was just like not the right play.
Yeah, the thing is like the coconut yogurt, they don't have a lot of protein. And it's hard because I'm like you, like whenever I find something that I like to eat and it's easy, I'll just eat a lot of it.
Yeah.
Because I like for me, it's not that I hate variation, I love variation, but It's just a no-brainer. Like I love the cottage cheese thing comes with the fruit. I buy like 50. I stock up my fridge and like I wake up, I have some. At afternoon snack, I'll have some. Before bedtime, I have some. So, but that usually I don't have I did have a problem with that with peanut butter. I ate so much, I developed a little bit of intolerance. And now I guess, yeah, now also with cottage cheese because of that. So hopefully, I guess like the idea would be to like vary a little bit
I
to
used to
develop the problem.
I used to drink a lot of like casein powder before I would go to sleep, like an hour before casein powder.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
I think that's a great, it's a slow digestion protein. If you're trying to put on muscle, that's a good thing because if you're sleeping even 6 hours a day, there is 6 hours that you're not getting any amino acid supply on your body. So I would say that would be more like if you're having a hard time putting muscle, that's like when you go, because
Okay.
for me, I like to use things in stages. I don't like to use all my tools at once because it's like just a huge overload on the body. And then once you plateau, you don't have anything else to do. So I would save the casein for like when you're like you're at a great stage, but you're like, I'm trying to put on muscle, but it seems like my muscles are not responding anymore. And then you get in with the casein because it would be like an extra supply of amino acids while you're sleeping. Then it's gonna keep making like sure your muscles are fed on the state that you're resting.
Okay. That makes sense. Yeah.
I love talking
Love it.
stuff with my girls.
Yeah, I literally I was in the middle of working and I see Sania's text come in. She's like the Zoom. I'm like, oh my God, okay. Let me hop on. I'm happy I did.
Yes. Oh, any more questions?
Joanna, say hi to Amanda. I want you guys to work together. I think she would be wonderful for you. She's probably like on you on her phone. And it was her birthday yesterday.
Oh, happy
And
birthday.
Patricia's in the building too.
Where's
Wait, whose
Patricia?
birthday was it? Whose birthday?
Joanna,
Joanna? Happy
yes.
birthday to you. Happy birthday to
Happy
you.
birthday,
Happy
Joanna.
birthday, dear Joanna. Happy birthday to
Oh,
you.
Patricia is called Sonia Media. Sylvia, do you
Yeah,
mean
that's Patricia.
Sylvia, do you mean creatine or creatinine? If it's creatine,
Yeah,
any
it's
time of the
totally
day,
creatine.
any time of the day is good. There's no really there's really not an absorption thing. The thing is like it is better absorbed with a carbohydrate source. So I wouldn't just like drink it and if anything, maybe like if you're doing an oatmeal, put it on the thing, or like maybe have it when you're with your lunch because you usually have a little carbohydrate source. But I mean, it's
Oh
not
shit.
every day.
I take it with my pre-workout. It's
Yeah,
not
but
good with your pre-workout. I
no,
put it in my
it's
pre-workout.
good. It's good, but that's like it's a minimal difference. Is the thing. Like I drink it with my electrolytes in the morning. I put in my water and I drink it throughout my morning with my clients. So for me that works because it's easy. If I drink it later in the day, it's just I sometimes I forget. So I rather do what I can that it's guaranteed than like I'll do it later. So it's just like a little difference in absorption, but it's minor. There's really not a time for it to do it. Ladies, I think we're gonna wrap it up unless we have some more questions. This has been so exciting. Thank you so much. So listen, this is gonna go all month until August 9, until like we're gonna have some major updates here. I'm gonna be sharing my checking pictures, everything you need to know, because this is about like how to lose those last pounds and all the things that I'm gonna be doing with my macros, blah 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 blah. So stay tuned. It's the same link for every week. So every Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Show up. God bless you. It was nice having you all here. Thank you so much for everybody that came, everybody that invited their friends. I love you all.
Love you. Thanks for the workout. I can get off my treadmill now. Bye
Thank
guys.
you
Bye Patricia. Bye
guys.
Joanna.
Have a
I love
blessed
you.
night. Bye.